Let's just start. My name is Paweł Rzemocin. I'm representing the company SONEL. We are the manufacturer of photovoltaic measurement unit, which is more related to this meeting because we also are a manufacturer of all electric measurement equipment regarding the loop test, regarding the earth, power quality, everything which is related with energy and electricity. We also have non-electric measurements like pyrometers and thermal cameras. Maybe I'll briefly describe the company through the years. We were established in 1994, and the very first product was the earth and loop tester. And since then, we made some milestones where we start to producing multifunction testers, also the power quality analyzers, and also now we have also in our portfolio thermal imaging cameras. Maybe I will start the presentation as it is, and through the whole presentation, please note that if you have any questions, I'll be able to make Q&A afterwards. So today's topic is the measurements on the photovoltaic installations. In general, photovoltaic installations are nowadays rising and rising through the rise of the price of the energy. We see the huge increase of the photovoltaic installations, and also it's related with the green side of the production of energy in the whole Europe. What is important to from our side as a manufacturer of electric measurements equipment, to be comply with several norms. Some of the norms are related with the measurement unit, and some of the norms are related with the safety of measurements on the exact installation. So, for example, let's just say that norm EN 61557 is related with the safety of the electric measurement equipment. However, for example, the norm 62446-1 is related with photovoltaic installation. So to be comply with everything, user or potential customer have to be comply with most of those norms that are stated in here. Just to keep it, just to squeeze it and tell more about how to make the measurements of the installation on photovoltaic installation. I'll present one of the units that we have in our portfolio that is comply with this norm 60364 and with the norm 62446-1. This is the multifunction unit MPI 540 PV, which is fully dedicated to measurements of photovoltaic installation. However, not only this is a truly multifunction unit. So let's just briefly talk about what kind of measurements we should make with those units. Definitely, one of the here you can see the accessories and the whole pack which is come to with the unit in itself while buying. In here you have described the requirements of the norm that is obligatory for each user and each installator who have the photovoltaic installation or making the survey or installation of that kind of product. So let's just talk about norm 603 64. This is the norm that is regulate the measurement in the low voltage electrical installation, because the whole installation of PV, we can divide it on the DC side and AC side. AC side, usually the whole installation is connected to electrical network, and the energy which is produced by the PV panels through the transformation of the inverter is giving up to the network. This is some kind of artificial storage of the energy. Of course, you can the user can choose the different types of the storage of the energy. Somehow call it off-grid installation, where the user can storage to the batteries the produced energy. However, we will describe the most common installation, which is on-grid, where you have to apply and make the measurement according to the standard 60364, and also when we say it about the AC measurement, and the standard 62446 when we saying about the DC side of the electric installation on the PV installation. The first of let's just say survey on the photovoltaic installation is the visual check. Definitely this is the one of the key course of the installation. After the installation we have to check the whole installation as it is, checking the whole connection of the MC4 connectors, checking the loose connection of the screws, connecting of the bondings and the Equipotential connector to the panels. So this is the first what we should do according to the standard. The standard is also forcing us to make the service on the very beginning, but also making the measurements after some time. It depends where the installation is placed. Some of the countries, some of the regions are requesting to make the service not more than 5 years after the installation, and some of the big customers who applied for example, the factories who have the installation on site, the premises, they forcing through the standards of ISO to make that kind of measurements every year or every 2 years. This is what I said before. The installation they should be each time should be conducted with the visual check, and this is the first sheet of our statement for the customer. According to the standard 62446. The minimum version of the documentation should contain information about the system, information about the designer, information about the installer, system description, diagrams. Also, this is very important to have the whole describe of materials used with this installation. Technical specification of the device. Device should be complete with the norm that I, for example, mentioned at the very beginning, 61557. So this norm regulates, for example, that appliance can be used in the network below 1000 volts, that we have the category that is safety category cut that allows the user to work under the voltage, for example, with the test of impedance of the loop. And also the whole specifications should be contained in, for example, one briefly described document, as it called it, verification and declaration of the manufacturer. System operational of the maintenance of the manual. This is always handed to the user or someone who will run the installation. Protocol of the system acceptance, verification and commissioning. Inspection of the DC side. This is we have to follow some regulation according to the standard 62446 to make sure that the whole equipment is doubly insulated and have the overcurrent protection. So, for example, the DC side have the varistor LPS light protecting systems protection. We have the bonding. We have the connector. Each panel is connected all together with the continuity cables. Everything should be grounded. And in case of special premises, should be also protected by the light protection system. Also, we can, while the check, we can make sure that each panel is checked before we will connect it. We will connect it all together. From our experience and from guidelines of the norm 62446, we know that, for example, all the MC connections should be made from the same type and same manufacturer to meet the requirements, because as we can see from the experience, connecting the different connectors, even if they are good, we are not talking about the faulty connectors, but the specification of the connectors is also different on the different manufacturers. It's a small difference, but this is what really sometimes matters. So according to the specification, we should have the same connectors and the same manufacturer of the connectors. This is also the test of the inverters. We have, for example, power quality analyzer PQM 707, where the user can check the efficiency of the inverter, can check the power and, for example, other parameters according to below standards. This is the print screen, how to connect, how easy connect the PQM to the inverter and make the efficiency of the inverter. Check the DC side and AC side same time. We also should, while, for example, visual check, we also should we also make sure that, for example, everything is labeled, and we have sure that every appliance and component is according to the standard. So have double insulation, everything is new without any visual damage or whatsoever second use. Sometimes we have problems with let's just say a round connection of the PV panels that can cause the problems in the future. For example, on the picture you can see that the panels are too close to light protection systems. While strike, there might be a problem with the inducting energy transferred to the panels or whatsoever to the whole installation. And the brief, it's only briefly information about it. The more complex we can share to each customer while some dedicated courses. We may one of the crucial things is installation and check the arresters for the light protection systems. When we install the arresters, one of the arresters should be checked according to standard 60364, either 62305, which is related to earthing, and the second, which is on the DC side, should be checked according to the standard 62446. So maybe I will also describe the most common problems with the installation and correct of the installation of the panel. As we can see, the user built one and only one string for the whole panels. As you can see in here, this is for the first slide, we can say that this is okay connection, but because it's made serially, so we can say that everything is fine. But in this case, we might face a problem with proper work of the whole installation. This red part can work as an antenna, and energy cannot be a proper pass to inverter. Here we have a proper installation, how it supposed to be. So, for example, we should divide this to two strings. Same. Make it serially connection, and creating two strings avoid any problems with the proper work of the installation. Construction errors are also made with the wrong connection of, for example, diameter of the cables. Many of the installators are doing the connections only with the, for example, 6 millimeters square cables. In some cases, it might be not enough. So this is something that we have to check while, for example, even the visual check of in the installation before the measurements. In here, we can see how the user making a problematic grounding rods and connecting them because of not enough efficiency of the resistance of the earthing, and how he connect the cables without connectors, and how can be a problematic in the future, because of the connections, we're supposed to make sure that everything is connected through proper connectors, because of the pressure on the loose cable can make the a big increase of the resistance, or even damage the whole continuity of the cable. According to the standard, the strength of the connector of the 4 millimeters cable is 300 newtons, but frankly speaking, this is something which is almost impossible to achieve. As we can see on the picture, the resistance, the thickness of the cable is around 100 newtons. Also, the connecting improper connectors might make the problem in the future for overheating or even short circuit of the whole installation. Even it's described in the norm that each pair of the connectors should be electrically and mechanically compatible and resistant to the environmental conditions. It is recommended to check the pairs of the connectors used by each manufacturer as compatible. From the whole process, I would say this is one of the crucial things. The most common problems with the installation is a problem on the connectors or the continuity of the equipotential bonding. Male and female connectors should be connected to each other on the same type and the same manufacturer, as I mentioned before. Male connector of the one manufacturer and the female connector of the different must be not used to the such connection. And from very beginning, we see that that was the crucial thing in case of any fire hazard through the years. So when the real boom on the PV installation started in 2011, most of the fires were caused by improper connection of the connectors MC4, as we have the statistic made in Italy. This is the statistic made in Italy. Inspection intervals. When we supposed to make the survey after the installation? Some of the manufacturers of the PV installations recommended, and this is safe, to make the surveys every 5 years. We can also rely on the reports from the previous inspection. So if we have the inspection every 2 years, and this is something that is stable over some period. So for example, loop of the impedance loop of the test is same or roughly same as it was before. The test of the bonding and earth resistance is same. We can extend the period for example a longer time. So instead of 2 years, we can keep it every 5 years measurement. The regulation of the norm, however, of 62446 suggests to make the measurements every year. And in some countries, construction law, which is obligatory for everyone, because norms are voluntary. European norms are voluntary. However, if the construction law in each country is referred to some norm, this is obligatory to follow the norm as well. According to the standard, we should make the measurements on AC side and DC side. With our measurement unit MPI 540, we can make both sides of the measurement. One of the crucial things is to make the stable conditions of or obtain the stable conditions of the installation. So optimally is 400 watts per square meter. It is without irradiance probe. Sometimes it's very hard to obtain what kind of conditions are good. We can make some additional measurements, like for example, illuminance of outside conditions. And for example, with 450 lux, we can say that it's optimally, and we can make the measurements of the installation. So we can divide the whole type test of norm 62446 for category 1. For example, test of continuity, test of the earth resistance, test of the open circuit, test of short circuit current, and finally installation resistance of the installation of the PV. Additional note about open circuit voltage. Most of the experienced installators before installation of the whole string, checking on the stable conditions, they are checking each panel. They are checking the voltage on open panel of each module, and then connecting them to the string, and again checking the whole voltage of the string. Category 2, which is not obligatory, but it's also good to have it, is to make the curve of the current and the voltage. However, SONEL products at the moment doesn't have this feature to be complied. Additional test says that the whole installation should be tested in the various conditions as well. Continuity of the equipotential bonding and connection to each panel, plus the earth resistance. Earth resistance we can make in the several types of the methods. Like here, this is the most common Venner's method, where we have the three-pole method of the test. This is the most common. Of course, our MPI allows you to make a different types of the method as well, like the 4 poles method, 2 clamps method, and 3 clamps method with the clamps. Also, the polarization. This is something which is sometimes overskipped by the installators who have experience. However, we suggest to make it a very serious test. Test of the voltage on open panel, short circuit of the panel, and functional test, and also the ESELO test, which is made on, of course, de-energized installation. Our equipment allows you to make the measurements on each panel and also on the whole string. With the whole string, of course, you have to, the user have to make the additional annotation in the system. So he have to describe the specification of the panel, the specification of the number of panels in the string, and additional information like the temperature, ambient temperature, and irradiance of ambient. Same on this picture, we can make the measurements of the short circuit current. Everything which is here described is also described on the quick guide in each matter, because we have touch screen, large 7 inches screen, so user can with one touch of the button can be followed to help menu, and will see the picture how to connect for proper measurement. Insulation resistance of the DC side, where you are checking first of all the first is DC and the plus of the DC, and the second is minus of the DC side of the installation. And test voltage, insulation operating voltage, and describe what should be the test voltage or on the measured installation, and what is the requirement minimum of the resistance that we can say that the installation is comply and okay. As I described it before, the MPI 540 allows you to make a quite big range of photovoltaic panels described. So you can add it to the memory and make the database where you can afterwards make a quick measurement of each panel. As I described it before, we can make the measurements of the inverter with the PQN 707, or for example with the MPI 540 PV. This is the primary inverter test, where we can get the exact numbers of all the important features from the inverter. And also MPI allows you to make the measurements of the voltage, frequency, continuity, short circuit of the loop, which is important on the AC side, RCD parameters, AC, A, F, B, B+, and FO, insulation test up to 1000 volts, phase rotation, earth resistance, which is also important, especially in the hard soil conditions, that we have to make the measurements in with the different type of the method. Soil resistivity, which is very helpful to estimate what kind of grounding we will have to build in case the installation doesn't have grounding. We have also power quality logger with the 3-phase in class S, and also possibility to extend the measurements for other tests like EFSA test for electrovehicle charging, and some additional features like auto ISO and light intensity, we would have to use it for estimation of the optimal condition of the test on the panel.
Pavel, thank you.
Yes.
Can you hear me right now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Beautiful. We didn't want to be rude and interrupt you in the middle of your such detailed and of course there's a lot of knowledge. Yet we have a timeline that we have to go according to. Is there something from your side that you want to share in conclusion? Because I have some questions from the audience, and we want to do our best to get those questions asked. Is there something that you want to conclude your presentation with?
Frankly speaking, I would like to share with all the people who would like to know more. I would like to give them a possibility to attend a precise seminar for MPI 540 PV and making the measurements on the PV installations later on. The conclusion is that we are comply with this norm 60364 and 62446. So all the users can be protected and secure and make the measurements according to the standard and give the proper documents to investors.
Excellent. Thank you, Pavel. Of course, you know that in Latvian we have this saying about people that someone who has eaten is a happy person, and people are waiting for lunch. You have this task just before the lunch, and I will ask you just a few questions.
Yes.
One question is the requirements and standards that you are talking about. Are they mandatory for the world, Europe, Poland, Latvia, or is it a moral responsibility?
The whole norms that I described before are not obligatory. The norms are only voluntary. However, if the norm is mentioned in the internal or national regulations in Latvia, and those regulations are pointing to specific points of the norm, or they are pointing in specific norm in general, we have to obey the specific norm. So I can imagine that all the users are referring to norm 60364 or maybe norm 62446. Some of the requirements are obligatory, definitely. Some of them are voluntary.
Okay, excellent. So each of our listeners must go and see for themselves what is compulsory, what must be done, and again, these are the direction where we're going with these regulations as far as the world is concerned.
Exactly. Okay. This is a direction where we are going and what we want to achieve. So norm describe the safety of, for example, installation of measurement unit or installators, giving you a guidelines. It's not, you don't have to obey. However, if there is a national law and this law is pointing to specific norm or points from that norm, we have to obey to that.
Okay, excellent. I want to thank you, Pavel, for this detailed and important information that people must take into account. And of course, people can ask questions, and from SLO side, we will do our best either forward to you or communicate with you to give the best answers to our viewers and listeners. So thank you, Pavel.